just waiting here for you. I just want your presence, you got me feeling blue. And don't keep me waiting, don't leave me in this way. Got me going crazy and I don't wanna wait. I just wanna make you see, I feel like I'm in heaven when you are here with me. And don't keep me waiting, don't leave me in this way. Got me going crazy and I don't wanna wait. I just want your loving, come and give me something. I just want your loving, come and give me something.
I just want your loving.
I just want your loving. I just want your loving, loving. to be what I could never be. 'Cause I could never find the way. Kept on believing there was only so much time it should take. But it's not right to live your life that way. 'Cause we are all stars fast, moving at our own speed in our different galaxies. How we can wait till time takes us where we're meant to be. 'Cause it's okay to do it differently. It's okay to do it differently. It's okay to do it differently. Was there a reason I was trying too hard to find what I could never see? 'Cause it was never meant for me. Kept on comparing, overthinking about the things I should have. But it's not right to live your life like that. 'Cause we are all stars, just moving at our own speed in our different galaxies. How we can wait till time takes us where we're meant to be. 'Cause it's okay to do it differently. It's okay to do it differently. It's okay to do it differently.
Yeah, not good for me, I know. But I feel like I won the lotto. Yeah, boosting my bravado. Nothing looking better than a hands around a bottle. I need to test and prove, I know. Love to stretch the truth, I know. The devil dressed like you, I know. That's a blessing too, we go down that rabbit hole where there is no giving, just taking. Yeah, you love it though, cause no good habit is for breaking. So let that liquor pour down on your chest right from those lips, and we can blindfold all our problems. We can't lie, we love this shit. Yeah,
What
you
can
gotta
I say
have it.
except you're welcome?
Yeah, I gotta have it.
It was at this moment that
You
you knew
wanted to
he
grab it.
fucked up.
Yeah, you gotta have it. I want. just kept on rising higher. They stood in the fire, burned with desire, love and emotion. They danced with devotion. They stood in the fire, burned with desire, love and emotion. They danced with devotion. They stood in the fire.
Harry, how you going? Nick, 28 months! You beautiful human. Hope we're all having a good weekend. I've just been solving some audio issues and, you know, what the fuck's going on in general. 28 months of love and happiness. Hell yeah. So, we've got some stuff coming. Apparently I just bought something. What did I buy? Oh, I picked up the free game off the Epic Store. Well, hang on a minute. I didn't buy anything. I did. I bought something that was $0. If you like free games, the Epic Games Launcher or the Epic Games Store, every week they give a free game away, and some of them are pretty cool. Better because it's the weekend. Hell yeah! Did you end up going adventuring this weekend? Just took my phone off do not disturb mode. All the messages start coming flooding through.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message. I love you. Now back to our show.
Nick! Nice one. It's like, I haven't heard that before. Guys, Blurp is just absolutely full of sound effects that I have not heard. Absolutely wonderful platform. And for subscribers, it's free! At least for now. Why? Because I said so. Why, thank you. Comment me for free. I'm consistently having issues with the Twitch alerts. I don't know why. Probably every second or third stream I've got to reconfigure it. Let's turn you down a little bit. Let me put that at the same approximate volume for me as it is for you. That way. I can hear how bloody loud it is, because that would have been so much louder for you guys than it was for me. So I don't know if I'm going to play a game yet or not. I'm toying with the idea of playing a game. Depends on the next 5 or 10 minutes or so how bored I am. There's a few games that we've got to try. They were a wee bit too loud? Yeah. Figured that was the case. There's a couple of games that I've clicked on just while I've been waiting for things to happen. But I've got to install them, and it's like 10 gigabyte install here, and 20 gigabyte here, and it's like, it's going to fuck the stream up. So, I didn't! Zit! How are ya? While we were here, I stumbled across something that I think Z would be all over. It seems to match with his ethos. Just trying to find the image on my computer. On my computer, on my phone. I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's the Japanese concept of ikigai. Ikigai. Have you ever heard of it? Because I can type. I can spell. I just can't type. You have, Millie? It sort of meets, you know how sometimes you live your life a certain way, or there's certain elements of your life and you just do what you do, and you think it's pretty cool and you just go with it, right? And then every now and again you see something and you go, that kind of matches what I've been doing. But then it makes you think about why you're doing it. So primarily, it's about your core things, like what you love, what you're good at, what your needs are, and what you can be paid for, and trying to find where the cross point is, or you just brainstorm those things and try and find the one that is closest as possible to the middle, all right? Because if you're doing what you love and you can be paid for it, that's ideal, right? And if it helps so it's what the world needs, right? So that's what the world needs, and what you're good at, what you love. Yeah, I mean, because you can love something and not be good at it. I love ice skating. I'm freaking bad at it. I wouldn't say I'm freaking bad at it. I'm just not brilliant at it. So I'm probably not going to make money out of it. And it certainly doesn't cross over to what the world needs. And I think I meet in the middle there. I think I do. I think what I love IT, technology, problem solving, all these things. I can get paid for it, and I do get paid for it. I'm fairly good at it. I'd like to think I'm good at it. And the world needs it. And I thought it might be something quite helpful for other people that haven't heard of this before to see it graphically. What's our thoughts? What's your thoughts, Millie? On an image. Oh, there's so many images. Oh, let's pick one, right? One seems pretty common. Put this up on the screen. Ah! Why did it work? Ah! There it is. Kerry, it's an interesting concept. I think we need to look beyond we need to look beyond and go back to the basics. What's your thoughts there, Z? Expand on that a little for me. And I just wonder, obviously, I think that I fit in the middle, and I think it's a cool little thing to sort of make people think about and brainstorm and see. But is there a risk that some people may brainstorm and just have completely different lists that don't ever cross over, and it actually is counterproductive of a concept to try and talk about? Or is it something that can help? I think we need to look beyond the basics. This chart is to help us settle into what is expected of us. Yeah, so this is the conversation, isn't it, Z? And this is what I'm interested in, why I'm bringing it up. Because immediately it's easy for me to personally identify with it and think, hey, yeah, that works. Would I necessarily use it as a tool for somebody else? I don't know. Like I said, could it be counterproductive? Could it actually like could people actually get more depressed or something if they tried to fit into this or make this work for them and they couldn't? Like, I'm sure there's some people out there that aren't as lucky. Like, what if IT work didn't pay money, or there was too many of us, or it was just really easy, or technology got to the point where then would I have something else that I love, that I could be paid for, that I'm good at, and that the world needs? So we all fit in. What now? I don't know. I'm thinking more about the people that are maybe a little bit younger, or and don't know what they do with their lives, or are doing stuff at the moment for work that they don't love. Like, is this just one of those little tools that works for some people, doesn't work for others, or is it a tool that only works for those that have already got their shit sorted? I don't know. The graph looks like a lotus flower. Stompy. You're right, it does, doesn't it? Pretty, so we shall use it. We all just want to be remembered. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's an interesting thought that makes me digress. Because when my father passed away, it hit me really hard, and it did make me think about maybe sit back and think, what's my purpose in life, and what am I going to leave behind when I pass away? What's my son gonna remember? What's he going to get out of it? Things like that. So is that a digress in conversation? Yeah, like I can see that becoming a rabbit hole conversation. I only want to be remembered by my son and wife. That's it. Stompy, yeah, that's fair. I certainly don't want to be famous. I'd like to make an imprint on the world and make a positive impact on people's lives, yeah. And what's the scope of that? Just putting it on the back of Stompy's conversation. Is it just the people close to you that you want to have an impact on, or do you want to do something that is world-changing? Yeah, I wonder if everybody... Oh, I can say everybody, that's a strong term, but I wonder if a lot of people do, because, like, go through phases, right? Go through the, what is it, denial, anger, negotiation, acceptance, or something to that effect. Like, it's in that particular topic. It's certainly not what I was, not the direction I was trying to take this conversation, but when someone close to you passes, we all reflect, right? Love and be loved. Key to happiness. Yeah. One thing they don't teach you in school. Yeah. Preparation for loss. Never get over it. But you learn to live with it. Yeah, Stompy, and I don't think that's something that can be taught in school, can it? Like, I think there's some room for us to learn about a lot of things in life, perhaps about entitlement, perhaps even just understanding some basic theories of empathy. But how can you teach or prepare anyone for a loss of someone as close as your mother or your father or a family member? The school of life lesson, I agree. Harry felt like that your world had been tipped on its head. Yeah, I think I am too. I think that's a lifelong journey, and it's a very sad journey that a lot of people stop and don't reflect, don't find more, don't learn more about themselves or develop themselves. Or, like when things go wrong in life, obviously there's scales, right? Everyone has their own way of dealing with some things and has their own levels of depression and anxiety and all that, all of these things, right? But at the end of the day, when it comes down to the acceptance part of it, you can accept and move on, or you can accept and stay put and not go any further. Like you can dwell on it for eternity. Yeah, exactly. I guess this, for me, was more about, like, unfortunately, we have to fit in the society. We have to fit a little bit into society, right? Because of the way that our social structures are constructed. Basically, most of us have to work, right? And I'm not saying that I agree or disagree with our economic system. I'd like to think I have a thought on a better way of doing things, but I'm not an economist, and I don't know if my way of doing things would be better or work, and I think it would be better. There's probably economists out there that have got pros and cons for my thoughts. So I guess what we've got is we can only live our lives based on the cards that we've been dealt. And when it comes to things like work, and the things that we do with our time that are improving our own lives or the lives of the people around us, like Zitz said, if love and be loved, that's great. I mean, we still have some needs. So what do we do to achieve our Maslow's basic needs? You guys all are familiar with Maslow's basic needs, including Wi-Fi? Find another image, just in case. Oh, bloody images. Grab this. Cool. Bit low quality. I wonder if I can find a better quality one. Yeah, this one. Yeah, so how do we help someone that's either early in life or not necessarily in life, just looking for direction? We've got a friend or a family member that just doesn't know what to do next. How do we help them fit into enough of the a moment. Fit in enough for these needs, perhaps. And I don't know if these are even the correct labels. These are just something I found on the internet, right? How do we help someone work this out or find their place to be able to achieve their happiness, achieve their basic needs? Every action has a reaction. Other people's actions are their problems. Yeah, I suppose here's the tail end of that discussion, and I've had this discussion a few times on the back of Stompy and Zit's conversation there. See, people misinterpret. Like you look at America's freedom of speech, or free will, any free will conversation at all. Sure, but it's still free will up until the point where you're affecting or restricting someone else's free will, right? Or someone else's basic needs, or someone else's, put whatever box you want around not affecting other people, right? Everything you say can have a consequence that affects somebody else. Whilst you might have the freedom of speech, it's not a freedom of speech to say what you... Okay, it's the freedom of speech to say what you want, but not without consequence. How about that? People interpret things how they perceive them. Yeah, and I think the people that don't have open minds are very fixed with how they perceive them, and that's it. It's all black and white, right? And then you've got people that have got open minds and are open to reflection, right? They interpret something, they perceive something, but then they discuss it, and they discuss it with an open enough mind that they can then reevaluate other people's perspectives, other people's point of view, and maybe even upgrade or change their perspective based on that. Reinterpret, perhaps, evolve. I feel almost everything in life is a journey. Yeah, 100%. Freedom doesn't... Freedom of consequences. Exactly right, Millie.
Oh yes, it's very nice, sir.
Fuck, I love the sound effects. Hey Z, did you like your hug command? I digress. So, Maslow's needs. I think this is like a 101 of psychology, because I've had a few conversations with people regarding this, and it's fairly good base thinking about and reflecting on what our basic needs are and what needs are not being met. Like if you look at these and evaluate each one, you find that severely lacking in one. It could be a prompt to evaluate how you might be able to improve that area of your life. Sound effects are everything. I think so. Hug comment is very... Hug command is very good. I think my hug broken. Oh, I don't have the /me on mine. Needs to do what? Sit on a bench, drink coconut water, eat fish.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Hugs for days. Needs to do what? I think it's that needs to feel happy, complete, purposeful. I don't know. Oh no, my hugs are broken. Wrong sound alert. It's all good. At least it works now. I had some struggles getting it to work. Found out it was my Stream Deck. My sounds, everything's all linked into too many places. Gotta simplify it. Someone I was talking to was saying that they've got a more complicated setup than me. I was like, what? I think this is just human needs in general, right? I think let's put it this way: our basic needs: air, food, water, shelter, sleep, clothing. There's reproduction. That's just a need for human survival, but not every single person needs reproduction. But it's just philosophical. Yes, I can't word. Human emotional needs. Love. Yeah, we might be able to use different examples. I'm not sure I agree on some of these. But I think there's merit in it. Some third world problems, third world countries. Not everyone has personal security. All right, I'll touch briefly on. I'll get rid of this. How do you guys feel? This is not a new concept. I've heard other people come up with it as well, but it's one that I've thought I would subscribe to, depending on the nature of the detail. There's a lot of inequity in different jobs and how much people get paid. You know, you look at doctors, lawyers, and the incomes that's typical incomes that they earn, and then you might look at musicians, artists, and the kind of income that they earn. There's a big discrepancy, there's a big inequity of it, and those people, these people, on both sides work sometimes just as many, if not sometimes more hours than other people that are earning more. Now, sure, I understand some people have bigger risks. Some people have to do a lot more study and work to get their qualifications and keep their qualifications. I get that. And that might be time to be considered too. So I'm not saying it's black and white. There's some grey area there. So I'm not against people perhaps being like, we look at the doll, and I don't like calling it the doll, but we look at what someone, I think the there should be a baseline amount of money that's not I don't know if the dollar's the right system. It's like a base wage. It doesn't matter where you work, we have a base wage, and I think the unemployed should have a bigger base wage. I think everyone should earn the base wage, even if you're unemployed or employed. And then if you decide that you want to do more, then you could be compensated accordingly. I just think that bring some kind of system around that to bring more balance to the incomes, if that makes sense. Definitely not black and white, but the arts are definitely undervalued. Yeah, and I don't know if the industry someone works in should be what determines the value. I don't know if the supply and demand is supply and demand or general what people think things are worth should be really equated into the equation. Like, I just think that everyone should have a more equal wage regardless of what they're doing. Perhaps a wage that's simply based on effort, simply based on the amount of hours they work. Have a base income that is well and truly enough for people to earn, to live, and then have, if people choose to work more hours, then so be it. Like, they then get more money for working the more hours. I don't know. Their thoughts? What's Mickey Minaj? Never gets better. If you'd like to be a recognized artist in the present work, become an agent. If you would like to be a recognized artist, present work in the present, work on becoming a government agent. Yeah, that's an interesting statement. Recognized artist in the present world, perhaps. Let me just read on for a bit. Not a Mickey Minaj fan. Yeah. Great at what purpose to achieve. Oh, the conference stomach. Stumpy. So, government employees, you know, look at the base wage of government employees compared to today's incomes. More about job security than it is about income. Because unless you're at the top of the tier, they're not earning great money either. I used to be a government employee. Not fantastic money. Job security, that's not what it used to be, but when I was in there, you basically, I knew a council worker, I didn't know a council worker, I saw a file on a council worker where hit a civilian over the head with a shovel, and he was still given an opportunity to explain why he should keep the job. Like, what? I'm not sure if any explanation would have done the job, but I wasn't privy to that information. Merely the only problem that is, where does the money come from? I don't necessarily disagree, but at the end of the day, the money does have to come from somewhere. I agree. Sadly, where they've been don't work out in one way or another. Sure, and this is what I mean. There's probably some economists and maybe some sample use cases where that you're saying where it's been tried. I haven't researched to see where it's been tried and how it worked out. Quality of medical and science, etc., tends to fail, stagnant, or money becomes So I guess it's not black and white, and you do have to try and solve those problems. I can think of a few things that may or may not work, and probably the economists that have tried it in these other economies have tried that and hasn't worked. Not necessarily disagreeing. I just know problems with both sides, and that's what I said right at the beginning, is there's going to be pros and cons, and I'm not an economist, so I don't claim to be an expert either. I don't have the answers. Like, if you look at it now, like, we already have a dole system, and a lot of people have a negative opinion on it because a lot of people use it. Well, another way of looking at it is that the people that we tend to say are abusing their dole system, as we call it, you know what? They're actually still living in lower socioeconomic standards, because, like, the dole's actually not a lot of money to live on, right? I think that the dole system is not the right answer. And I'm not even saying that my idea is the right answer, but I think my idea might have, the answer may lay somewhere within the concepts of my idea. To solve the answer to these questions, we must consider generations ahead and for us. We must not let lifespan limit our thinking. True. Definitely need to learn from other mistakes. And, like, I'm very interested now to do some research on where else tried and just see how they actually implemented the system. Because I'm sure there's a zillion different ways in the detail. Like, the devil's in the detail, right? What I've described, very broad overview of a theory. It's actually been implemented somewhere, hasn't worked. There'll be a lot of detail in how it was implemented. Yes, you have to think about where that money's going to come from. We already pay a huge amount of tax here that supports a lot of systems. Would employers actually be paying any more money? Like, perhaps the base wage is paid through corporate tax. The dollar isn't much indeed. Mum is only just getting by. My youngest brother wasn't living below the poverty line. Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying. The welfare is just enough to manage crime rate level as its purpose. Yeah, welfare is just enough to manage the crime rate. Yeah, and it's not doing a very good job of that, though, is it? I think at the moment we've got a very fast separating bracket. The middle, the space in the graph of low income, middle income, and high income. That middle income is becoming a lot smaller. We need to have crime. level do we need to have crime? And crime is a broad term too. Do we need to have crime? We need to have the ability to reject social expectations or perhaps laws. Don't know how we would categorize it under the category of just crime. Crime calls for policing. Yeah. I mean, it would be a lovely world if we could all just be butterflies and rainbows and shit. Everyone just got along. I think we need to have crime. I think if we categorize... now here's more grey area where everyone's going to have a difference of opinion of what is crime. Right? Because I'll tell you now, the world doesn't need people killing people. If there was a way to eliminate killing people, and I'll include war in that, we should be looking... I don't know how you would ever solve that, but I don't think the world needs it. The economy of life. Life! I love the way you spelt life. Deal with that. Damn it, that life cannot be Animal Crossing. I know, right? Rainbows and butterflies. We definitely need people of different types. I had a fairly smart person once tell me that there's a place in the world for all different personality types. And she was specifically talking about... Oh, what type of person was it? The people that... Like, some people lack... Some people lack the empathy in the human condition, right? So I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this. Somebody's hurt, either emotionally or physically. Some people can just look at that person and go, without any empathy, right? And you say, wow, what is this? What is this? What is wrong with this person? And then you've got people that can't deal with looking at someone or dealing, like, there's different types of people, right? There's the people that are I'm not explaining this very well. I'm trying to remember how it was explained to me. It's just not working. I'll come back to that conversation. We could do without the need for policing, though. Yeah. What about the tune that you went on Island? Because they're ugly. Oh, Z. I love it. We could do without the need for policing. Yeah, look. Yeah, that would be a lovely, that would be definitely a lovely world, wouldn't it? Would it also be a world without people challenging the norm, though? How do we evolve without people pushing boundaries? Now, I'm not saying... See, here's where the line gets drawn. It's easy from our perspective. Perhaps because we're all mates here and we have a fairly similar Western first world upbringing. Now, if we're talking about where we've come from in the past, it takes people to push the boundaries, right, of our social norm, for the social norm to evolve or change. Hopefully we evolve and change for the better. Not always. Imagine 8 billion people with different ideas envelope. Well, exactly what we've got, isn't it? Isn't that exactly the world we live in? I come from the east. It is no different from the west. Do you have much experience? Maybe you do. From living in dictatorship rules. And living under dictatorship rule. Or mafia law. Same shit, different packaging. Interesting. Being idealistic, yeah. Idealistic is definitely one. Is the circumstances that set the conditions. To quote Shanghai Noon, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Yeah, yeah. I digress again a little. Love that wisdom. Yeah. Like, we're all people, I guess, is the concept, but I look at countries that live in dictatorship rule, and it's not always bad either. You have good dictators and you have bad dictators. Sounds extremely weird, but I think it's the truth. If you've got a strong dictator that says this is the way I want things and my word goes, as long as the ethics of that one person meets the majority of what people want or need, and it's not out of greed and warmongering or moving into the mafia law, great things can happen because they don't get tied up in bureaucracy. They can just get things done. Whereas we live in a very diplomatic sort of world. Everyone's got to vote on everything. Try and get anything done. There's a very bureaucratical process has to go through it. And a lot of people think, well, that's what saves us from being under the rule of a dictator. And I suppose, how do you know if you're going to get a good dictator or a bad dictator? Now we're going to go right into conversation. People need to be controlled. That chart you shared is set the expected path checkbox scheme for life. Yeah, I don't disagree, Z. Don't disagree. I've lived most of my life outside the box, trying not to fit the checkboxes, and it's been hard. And now that I've quit my job, sold my company, and quit all the stupid shit, and just got a normal everyday full-time job, and just ticking the boxes of the social expectations, I'm actually doing a lot better. Now, there's plenty of people out there that have a lot more drive with running companies and businesses, and also elements of luck, I think, that are doing really well for themselves. But I'll tell you what, they're doing it with a lot of risk, a lot of work. Not too many people, other than extremely lucky ones, that are outside the box and doing well for themselves. Living under the dictator of a country gave us all free healthcare, jobs, good beating when we acted out of life. Yeah, is that, like, did you live in a country that was under dictator law? I personally would still rather the frustration of voting, etc. I want to say dictators are unpredictable, and what works for me may not work for you. Yeah, and in a diplomatic process, you still may not get the answer you want, right? So either way, it's how the decision is made. Might be less risky. Relying on majority rather than potentially getting a bad dictator. Yes, I also lived in a country at war. Yeah, wow. I can't even imagine what that would be like. I guess it's one of those privileges, right? Out of my control. Lived a refugee 4 years. I'd love to hear your story, Z. If you were willing to share it one day. Maybe we could do a podcast. Glad not, yeah. Look, I'll accept that I'm privileged. It was fun? That sarcasm? I'm going to assume that was sarcasm. So, one of the things, like we've digressed talking about, I'm not usually a big person to talk about politics, which is kind of where we're headed. Looking back, it was fun. Was it fun, or was it, did it make it who you, like, obviously it's made you the awesome human you are now. Some sort of reflection, I imagine. Exactly, but I believe in the majority of rule, and because we vote regularly, we have the opportunity to change paths. Not a luxury afforded to those under the rules. Yeah, true. Follow the social rules, but I choose to be my own authentic self in my personality. Diagnosis that triggered that. To embrace my authentic self. Look, embracing your authentic self, a challenge that every single human, no matter what they can, tends to struggle with. We're not taught it in schools. Should be. And I think we need to understand what embracing our authentic self is. A lot of people believe it's, you know, acting however they want to be. Still some guidelines one must fit into. People that with anger issues that lash out on other people, or have personality types that tend to put other people in danger. Okay to be their authentic self, but they've got to be controlled. They've got to have some understanding of respect for other people. I mean, some people say that we need those kind of people too, because that's how we control our population growth issue. That's another conversation. Maybe one for another day, I don't know. But population growth could be an issue, unless we learn how to live in the deserts. I'm controversial on this point, but I believe schools are designed to teach us how to not be authentic selves. Yeah, they want us to be good little underling workers, nothing more. I 100% agree with that, Millie. They control us through education, 100% agree. I hate the education system. I hated it as a kid. I didn't really understand why I hated it. They don't teach us the basic need. They don't teach us financial literacy. What the fuck? I don't know if the education system's changed since I was in school, but I had to teach my son basic, you know, budgeting and stuff. I did business principles as an elective subject. Worse. I'm not surprised. But we should be learning psychology 101 in high school. Basic, you know, especially in a world now so full of anxiety and depression and mental illnesses that are unnecessary. I understand that a lot of people have mental issues that is chemically induced naturally in the brain, they can't help it, but a lot of mental illnesses out there that are purely because of poor upbringing and poor education, unnecessary, could be resolved through proper education. Definitely things that I know now that I wish I knew when I was younger. To be honest, I'm still finding myself. Sure, follow the rules of society and what is expected of me because I don't get good to others. Yeah. Good. They keep us in line. They're not even allowed to do, like, they keep us in line. Focus on that stuff. When we were younger, when I was in school, they phased the cane out when I was in school. So I saw it from both sides. So what do we think? What do we think of corporal punishment's not right. What do we think about the shit that our kids actually get away with at the moment? And where do we draw the line? I think that we're approaching psychological mental illness wrong. We're saying, oh, we can't. I'm not advocating for physical abuse at all. Don't get me wrong, but giving everyone a participation prize, participation medal in a race. What do we think of that? What do we think of basically teachers having to put up with verbal abuse because there's nothing they can do to control other people's kids? Kids just being rebellious and troublesome in class. Why is it that some kids leave the standard high school system and go and do 6 to 12 months courses in tertiary education to complete the exact same subject material that's taught in 2 years for year 11 and 12? Because of all of the extracurricular shit that's in our education system that doesn't need to be there, and the distractions of a classroom environment. Nothing wrong with keeping us in line. People need to be told what to do. Yeah. People need to be told the basics what to do. Basic how to survive in life. But they're not being taught about any kind of personal development, basic needs, any kind of basic 101 psychology that we need in today's age. We need to raise more rebellious people in order to wheel turning. Rebellious to the point of pushing boundaries and questioning things, yes. Rebellious into not liking something and causing wars. Yeah. There's a scale there, I think. Kids get away with too much. Yet the crime rates at the moment with kids that are doing it is ridiculous. Educators should not be either. Yeah, the pendulum, we swing too hard in either direction. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It quotes: hard times create strong men. Yes, strong men create good times. Yes, good times create weak men. Yes, weak men create hard times. So here's a paradox, right? A quote from a post-apocalyptic novel by the author G. Michael Hopf sums up a stunningly persuasive cycle history. This is really interesting. So how do we combat that? How do we challenge that? Hard times create strong men. Yes. Strong men create good times. Yes. Does anyone disagree with it? No one. Like, I don't think that's disputable, right? Good times create weak men. Typically, yes. And weak men create hard times. Yeah. So how do we get a balance where we have... So hard times can be defined because you have your ups and downs in one particular area. Just because we're having an up or a hard time, sorry, a good time in one particular area doesn't mean in a different area of life we have equal up. Like, we could be bad times, like we could be having financial struggles with the economy, plagues of epidemics and floods and fires, right? Which all could be, say, it's a down, but we could be having a really good really good family life, better partner, kids are really behaving well lately, been having really good board games and finding good connection within our families, and there's other areas in life that are going good. Now, I've just picked two random things. Pick whatever examples that you want. Can we find a balance where people have hard times, where other people are having good times, and you have both? Like, where can we have a cycle that balances each other out, right? So we meet somewhere in the middle, and we create people that understand the hard times, help other people, so that when they're going through their good times, they're helping other people get through their bad times. Powerful quote, and its mind makes you think, doesn't it? missed a few comments. Let me just scroll back. Millie, you used to work in special education. I'm on work cover, but not the first time. Yeah, right. I was being assaulted almost daily. Rebellion to challenge is important. I've quite, yeah. So my stepdad, stepdad, not the stepdad, he's just my mum's partner. They're not married. He used to work with troubled kids that were trying to better themselves. They're going through government programs. So I don't really understand what it was, but he was getting assaulted a lot as well, and it was just accepted as part of his job. Shit. So I feel like I can empathize scenario, and it's shit. Mystic, I could imagine. My youngest nephew has meltdowns where he smash his head through a window. Or mate is frustrated because non-verbal. Yeah, see, this is. Yeah, there's a lot of people with special needs, right? This is part of why society is always in a cycle. Yeah, we do not combat or fight it. Go with the flow and enjoy the bubble you create around yourself. Yeah, see, Z, I like that. I like that. How do you feel about the concept of everyone contributing to society as well and trying to better society for everybody in, not just the bubble? Do you think there's an 80-20 rule there, perhaps, where primarily our job is to focus on our little bubble, but we need to be aware of what's outside our bubble and where we can without affecting ourselves too much, try and make an influence for the better for the outside of our bubble. Your thoughts on that? Millie replies, exactly, I have so much compassion. Such a taxing job. Yeah, imagine. Why we struggle to find support workers in the NDIS community. Yeah, I think it takes a very special personality type to be really good at helping special needs people, and that's a very broad statement because I'm a chair of a company an organization that works with special needs people, and there's people with special needs that are actually really easy to work with, and there's people that are really hard to work with. So there's a whole spectrum there. People that require restrictive practices, dealing with those kind of people who have special needs, special type of person that deals with those, that has to be around to help those kind of people. I couldn't do that. My rule is my bubble, playing field, and everything else outside of it, job, meeting expectations of others, sideline. Right. Yeah, I think it's important to just still keep aware of and have some involvement what's going on the sideline. When you bundle job and meeting expectations into the sideline, like you've asked me several times when I talk about my work, and I guess I've worked very hard to get myself to a level where I earn enough that I feel like is enough to mean that I can live a life where I don't have to stress about where my rent money or mortgage money is going to come from, and I can provide for my son. Like I feel like my bubble is a better place because of the work that I've done, achieved. Love to help those people, but where I can. Oh, bloody hard it can be. Hard to be on the spectrum, yeah. You just have to look at your own first. I mean, I've lived a lot of my life being a people pleaser. And it was very toxic to myself. Very damaging to me for quite a number of years, and it's only just recently in my life that I'm now, I like to say I'm a more selfish person, but no, I am just looking after myself first because I can't effectively help other people if I don't look after myself first. See, you've lived a life many years where a job was the main playing field. Do you regret any of that? Like, would you, because I know, you know, different lifestyle and a different ethos now. Do you wish you wish you'd given up that a lot sooner? What would that mean for your life now if you had? Like the lifestyle, the house that you're in, the ability to provide for your son, family. Would that be different if you had played the field differently earlier? I was expecting to retire at 45. Chose to do it at 40. Yeah. And chose to do it at 40, and I believe you have very, very little regret about that. Achieved. Rather have more time than the money, yeah. The question though is, having made that choice at 40, do you wish that you had done it earlier, not played the game at all? Or do you just think that you've done it till 40 and that was what you needed to do to get yourself to be able to retire at 40 and still live the lifestyle and provide the way that you can? Rather have more time than money. Yeah, like I agree that, but I still like need that money. So I spent, probably going to go and say 15 to 20 years of my life, I was chasing dreams, running my own companies and businesses, working stupid hours, to do exactly that, to earn stupid amounts of money so that I didn't have to work my whole life. And I actually failed in that mission, but I still learned a lot. And I think I needed the mistakes and lessons to now really appreciate just playing the employee game. The only thing I wish I'd done earlier, a kid sooner, yeah. Life changer for me. Yeah, I agree. I was lucky enough that I had my son fairly early. I don't think I was mature enough to have my son any earlier than I did. So it's a hard one for me. I think I had my son at exactly the right time for me. It would have been better if I was more financially stable. Had my son. Money was challenging, especially in his younger years. Yeah, it's a big congratulations to be able to retire earlier than you planned to. And to even, like, that's feat, it's a challenge, right? I always wanted to have children, never found anyone though. 12 now. I don't think that's true, Millie. Can't speak for your circumstances, obviously. Lucky you can't pour from an empty cup. Currently going through a scenario where someone needs my help, but I have to do it in a way that helps them. But I have myself first, 100%. Have to be. Some call it selfish. It's life preserving. That's not being selfish. Not being selfish at all. A beautiful life without children. Wanted to have a long time. Life is great. Great. Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. Talking to a girl that wants have kids, and she's left it quite late, reasons that are personal to her. And now she's thinking about doing the, or not thinking about, she's going to do IVF path. She'll get 2 attempts at it, pretty much it, based on her circumstances, and then then she'll know. Some people are saying, oh, why are you doing that so late in your life, and you know, taking the risks and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, well, think about it this way: if you don't give it the attempts, if you don't try, you'll never know, and you'll live the rest of your life never knowing whether that's something you should have done or whether it would have worked or whatever. Give it the tries, give it the attempts, then yeah, if it works, then great, and if it doesn't, well, then you know, right? And then yes, you'll have to go through the acceptance, but then you know. Play the cards that you dealt with. The scenario is a bit worrying. Yeah. Never feel guilty about looking after number 1. What is this? Skip. So in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to start playing a new game. I am going to start playing a game called Cuphead. Been dying to play it for a long time, and I still haven't purchased it. I'm not spending any money at next payday because getting this car, and I just want to make sure that, you know, dust settles for understanding, make sure my budget's on track and that everything what I think it's going to cost. Yeah, buying this car, I bought a car that I probably didn't need, a bit more expensive than probably needed, but I've decided that I'm going to do it and treat myself. I'm only leasing it. In 3 years' time, I can just give it up if I want to. But yeah, primarily I wanted to be buying houses and maybe a commercial property or two, to start creating that portfolio of passive income. I don't know. Sometimes we make. I like the idea that I can make this decision and it shouldn't impact. Not going to impact me and still achieve my goals. Cuphead makes me want to throw the controller into the. So have you actually played Cuphead, Z? Let me open the Cuphead screen and see who owns Cuphead. Do any of my friends own Cuphead, and is Z on that list? Store. Cuphead. Seven people I know already own this game. Wow. Emix has got it. He played 3 hours. Oh, you played on the Switch. We played 2-player all the time with your son. Ah, so your son loves it. That's cool. So it's a bonding game. You haven't played it yet, Millie. Get on it. I didn't even realize that Cuphead was a multiplayer. I thought it was single. Maybe there's different Cuphead games. Yeah, the Steam game that I'm looking at is only single player. Jeffy played Cuphead and enjoyed it. Yeah, nice. What the fuck? Sorry, didn't realize that had a thing. Really, Cuphead is supposed to be very difficult. My friend Mike said it was stressful. Yeah, right. But he also loved it. First, you need a controller. I'm not playing it with a controller. It makes me so mad when I play it. And I never get mad. Love to buy a house out in the country one day. Rates, housing crisis. Be a little old granny. Yeah. So here's my thing. Because I've been self-employed for a long time, I didn't pay superannuation myself when I had my own company, which was probably a mistake. So I need to create more passive income that when I stop working, I'll still have some income coming in that's not reliant on my superannuation or government handouts, which I don't expect to exist by the time that I retire. So I foresee that like I'll need another good 10 years of good employment to be able to get myself set up. I would love to buy a house. Oh yeah, I just read that one. Zit. And you never get mad until Cuphead. I get it. Millie, that's your dream too. Yeah. So Millie, which, okay. When you want to buy a little house in the country, where in the country are we talking? Like, are we talking rural, outback, bush? Like, or are we just talking anywhere that's cheap, that's out of the city?
Nope.
No problem. Transfer assets today, go bankrupt later, then claim benefit, free healthcare, aged care, etc. Problem solved. I've already done the bankruptcy thing. Transparency. Not something I want to do again. But it certainly wasn't the end of the world. Life changed overnight. You talking to Millie, me, or both? Both. Isolation can be difficult and depressing. It can be for some people, yeah. I've actually found that I've seen some people more often now that I've lived out here than when I lived closer to the city. And I've also had the benefit that some of my closer friends I've been able to visit because I still have to go in for work. Like, I'm not too far out. 2-hour drive is not that bad. It's like people say, you know, people that live in vans and live the van life and the grey nomad life, you know, do they get lonely? Well, you know, a lot of them that you talk to don't actually. They actually like the solitude, and when they want the company, they usually can still find it. Usually got their methods, their hobbies, or the things that they like to do, or events they still go to and catch up with certain times. Some of them have more community life than they did when they were living in their own little bubble. I know when COVID hit, I actually created new friendships that I never would have probably created. It's a hard decision to make. You just know. I just know I want to be able to grow some of my own food and grow flowers, to be honest. Yeah, fair. Get that. I would like to be somewhere that's peaceful and close to town, community, city. That way I can have my serenity. Yeah, yeah. So, something close to a town or community is very different to close to a city. Because if you're close to a city, you've got the great urban expansion, which is what we're going through at the moment, right? And you look at places like Jimboomba that used to be country towns 10 years ago, and now it's becoming a populated little suburban town. Like, you got to go a fair way out. You got either got to go a fair way out, or you got to be prepared to move every 10 years as the urban expansion happens. People who choose that kind of life are usually quite okay with that isolation. Yeah, exactly. Or they wouldn't choose it or stay in it for very long. I think in cities, sure, there are lots of people, but there's enormous community disconnect. Oh, yes. 100%. When I lived in the Roma Street Parklands, in a building, not on the park bench, I lived in the Roma Street Parklands, and we barely knew the neighbours. Like, we lived in a community, and we knew basically no one in the community. And you didn't want to. No one wanted to. Everyone was cold and everyone was living a big, busy, fast life. And it was a bit the same when I lived in Hawthorne and Bulimba. I lived in a couple of houses in that area. There's no community. Springwood was a bit different. There was a bit of a community there, but I think that's mostly because I grew up there. And it's actually surprising to me that a lot of people that I know that I grew up with still live there. They've just never gotten outside that bubble. They don't know what the rest of Brisbane is like to live in. Lived in a small country town for most of your life. I'm used to it all, yeah. I live in a country town now, and I dip my toes in the community lifestyle maybe twice. And I'm not sure I dig it. I actually just like the solitude, and having my friends circle and my social circles not living next door to me. I love having all my social circle at a little bit of a distance. I get it's a bit hard for some people because, you know, an hour and a half, 2-hour drive. If I lived closer, if I still lived in Springwood, I'd probably see people like Z a little bit more often. But to the most part, I like it. I get to choose when I socialize. Men at our age love solitude, man cave, yeah. Like I met a girl that's local here in the community, from a dating site, just one, and she knows like half the community. And it's like, this is such a big red flag. Like, I don't want half the community knowing who I am. And so I'm not interested in delving too much into the local scene, local community. Yeah, I need, like, even though I live out here, one thing I do miss is having my man cave area, because the house is quite small. Even though I've got a lot of land, I don't have a suitable shed or a suitable room or a suitable entertaining area where I can do woodworking or just escape my office or my house life. So that's something on my to-do list, is, you know, expanding, putting maybe another shed in there in a little entertaining area, and making the expanding on the house a little bit, invest into a shed. Yeah, 100% on the list of things to do. Would that be possible? Yeah, it certainly is. I live in Melbourne, but I live an hour out of the travel 3 to 4 hours round trip every day to work. Traffic. Fuck that. That's my distance. It's 2 hours for me to get to, sometimes a little over 2 hours if there's traffic each way. That's a 4-hour round trip. That's why I tend to do 2 days in a row and go and stay at a mate's place. Bugger doing bugger doing a 4-hour round trip every day. Nah. I'd quit. I'm at the age now where, honestly, I like to have solitude. My group of, yeah. Love to never be stuck in traffic like. Yes. I hate the traffic every time I go to Brisbane. Traffic just drives me nuts. I lived with it, and, you know, I used to be one of those ninjas that dealt with traffic quite fine. I knew how to merge effectively, you know. And I've been living out here less than a year, and when I go back to Brisbane now, I'm like, I don't miss this shit. Z, you're gonna say goodnight? Kids, be back soon. No worries, Z. See you soon. Traffic's just getting so bad. Just in the last, I think since COVID, the traffic's gotten worse. I don't understand why. Does anyone take public transport in Brisbane? Is anyone that's lurking, maybe, a Brisbane public transporter? Can tell me, is the public transport still as busy as it always used to be? Or is everyone still ignoring public transport and taking and driving? Traffic in Brisbane stresses me out. Yeah, it never used to. Now it stresses me out. Traffic out here, like I don't mind driving half an hour to Warwick and half an hour back. It's so peaceful. I don't mind driving up and down the range even. I don't mind driving out to hikes. Like I'll drive an hour and a half, 2 hours to my hiking destinations. It doesn't bother me. It's all just breezy driving. Driving to the city, by the time I hit Ipswich, traffic just starts to drive me nuts. Everyone starts abusing everyone. Traffic got worse down here because no one wanted to use public transport anymore. That's shifted again, but the traffic is better. Yeah, that's what I mean. It feels like COVID's long gone. People should be back on public transport, and the traffic is still getting worse. I'm leaving. I start work at 7 o'clock. If I don't start work at 7 o'clock, if I start at 7:30, I don't get a car park on the street. It's full. There's traffic. It takes me an extra 15 to 20 minutes to get in because of traffic. Take the train on Tuesdays and Fridays. Tuesdays are busier than Fridays. Yeah, Fridays I imagine are quieter. You like the open roads? Yeah. I feel since COVID, people are still having survival of the fittest mindset. Yeah, everyone is so selfish, particularly on the roads. I think half the reason I like living out here and like my solitude is that I just don't have to deal with people. I'm not a people person. You'd never pick it from being here, talking to you guys. On the border of Melbourne, and I'm fine driving in Victoria. It's fine. Pretty scenery and traffic flows better, but heading towards the city, mind numbing. Honest, yeah. I'm going to be interested to see. I used to travel into Melbourne, not driving. I used to just fly in, and I'd walk and tram everywhere. But I used to visit Melbourne at least twice a year, because I actually love the city. I love Melbourne City. It's nicely spread out. It's not bundled up like Brisbane is. I love the architecture. I love all the food. I love the culture around there. I've never been stressed in Melbourne. I've always felt like Melbourne's more accepting of people. Like, go into pubs and I see people of all different types. Whereas if you go to pubs here, everyone's collecting in their little niche of social groups. What do you call it? Trying to say. So I'd be interested to see now, since COVID's gone, when I actually go back to Melbourne, I would just be interesting to see if the feel has changed since COVID. Social clicks, yeah. It's not even just social clicks, it's just the different types of people, right? Like, you get social clicks with, you know, in the same, there's a word I'm trying to think of and I can't, not social clicks, something else. Really, you love Melbourne, but it's kind of depressing these days. It could just be personal traumas. People say COVID affected us differently, guys. That collective trauma is, yeah, okay. And it hasn't brought you guys more together? I think what I was trying to say when I was talking about clicks is different subcultures of people. A lot of the venues in Melbourne are very accepting or open to all sorts of different subcultures and types of people. Whereas here, everything's very segregated. Almost borderline dangerous. People are distant. So the city is pretty quiet in comparison. Pre-COVID. That'll change again, but not yet. Right. So do you mean quiet as in just slightly less people or slightly less incidents, or are you talking like almost ghost town as in there's a lot of closed shops and businesses and things like that? Locklands did a lot of damage. Yeah. Like we had a lot of businesses that didn't survive, but then now as we're recovering, new businesses are popping up. All right, BRB, packing to move to the country. Bring some peaches. Melbourne is very diverse. Yes. Yes. And venues are diverse and open to all different subcultures. And I got a mate that owns a bar, and I walked in there and I felt so comfortable. I didn't feel like, you know, the black sheep that walked into the room, you know, like you can do when you walk into some places and you go, whoa, this venue is not for me. Didn't have that. There was people there with mohawks and tattoos and earrings and all sorts of stuff, and then there was people there that were sort of more trendy people, and I don't know, I'm not a subculture expert. I saw the price of peaches in the supermarket today. Shit expensive. Freaking Willy Wagtails that they're very cute and very pretty song. But they ate all my peaches. All my peaches on my peach tree are all just little stubs now of little bits of leftover stuff. There's literally not a peach left on the tree. Bit disappointed. People don't go in there as much. A lot of businesses did go down. New ones are coming in, but the people often aren't there. I know a lot of shops are operating closer to Queensland hours now. Melbourne used to not really sleep. Yeah, is that right? See, I used to go into what they call it, Federation Square, and there's a cafe there. I went there at like 2 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning. Saturday night we were out, and there was people still, like the place was busy still, and at 2 o'clock on a Sunday morning, there were people playing Monopoly and sitting on laptops in Federation Square. It's like, you did that here in Brisbane or in Fortitude Valley, some drunk dick would give you shit. You'd be in trouble. Rude about the birds eating your peaches. Yeah, I knew what you meant. What's everyone getting up to tomorrow? You got any adventures? I'm gonna go get a haircut myself. I'm way overdue. BRB, need some food? Yeah, no worries. Gotcha. Family catch up tomorrow. Nice. Nice. Should we play a game? Had good chats. I'm also going to, sometime soon, I don't know when, avoid the valley like the plague at night. Scary. See, I used to love the valley. I used to go there frequently, like at least once a week, kind of frequently. I just sort of still avoided the drunken crowds. I'd cross the road or stay right the hell away from them. But I was a big pub goer and live band goer. went through a phase where I probably at pubs looking at live bands, checking out live bands and following a few around, probably as frequently as I go hiking now. I think I have a slightly healthier hobby now. Also used to a fair bit. Don't do that anymore. Alright, so let me just have a look what we got going on. Yeah, right. What game options do I have? Maybe a game that you guys can play too. Is looking for games that we can all play. Don't have enough people here for words on stream. Found that doesn't work very well. It's too hard. So we shall see your new fresh do on stream. My plans are nice, seeing if I can tackle that Coolum again. To make making some positive memories. Last time I went with a douchebag. Yeah, right. I haven't done Mount Coolum yet. How many people have we got in chat at the moment that would perhaps play a game with me? Because I've got a couple of game options. Like I've got some cool classic games here. I've even got Tetris. Got some tabletop games. Got Pummel Party. But everyone would have to own Pummel Party. Got Pummel Party is, by the way, is a little bit like Mario Party. I don't feel like playing that. When did I buy that? I've got Building Simulator. Radio. Otherwise, I could just play some Crab Champions while I keep talking to you guys. But you know. I don't. Not on Steam anyway. I could buy Uno, it's like $14. Oh shush.
When we return for winter,
why do I have story mode, Uno? Uno Valhalla? What the fuck?
We take our battle to the board. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Hang on a moment. You guys need to see this. This is trippy as fuck.
When we return for winter, our warriors have a way of keeping their edge keen. Let the soft merchants huddle by their fires. We take our battle to the board. Keep your
Rabbit and chatted.
and your enemies closer.
I was watching the little guy play Mario Wonder, but sweaty palms just being there. It is 4-player co-op. Ooh. Mario Wonder.
History, the board is part of the adventure.
Ooh.
Collect cargo as you travel, or take it from the hands of an opponent. With enough wealth, you can order the shipwrights to build your longboat of your own, and Midgard becomes your playground. But there will be times that you must do what a Viking was born to do. Take the battle to enemies! Be it on land or on the board, victory has never tasted so sweet.
Wow, PvP Uno.
Uno Valhalla, available now in Midgard.
What the fuck? How cool's that? Hey, stop.
When we return
That was not a permission for you to do that again. Whoa. Sorry, wrong button. Mario Wonder, let's check this out. Z, have you seen Pummel Party? It's pretty cool. The Mario Wonder must just be on Switch. What? That game looks cool. So that was Valhalla. Trippy. Yeah, I can't find Mario Wonder on Steam, so it must just be Switch. But Pummel Party is one that I've got, but everyone would have to own it if anyone wanted to play along. Might be one that we can plan for another day, I think. If anyone hasn't seen it, I'm sure there's no video here, our store page. It's very, very Mario Party. Lots of mini games. Played it with Dozer a heap. Little FPS mini games, they're a lot of fun. Looks like there's a few new games in there I haven't played. What do you think? Would that be a bit of a fun game to play perhaps another time? Would those that don't have it be prepared to pay for it? Okay, stop. Stop. Far out. It's a Switch game, yeah, right. Finishing just... Must be warming up here from my computer. Another game I want to play, but not tonight because I'm too tired. I want to do that Only Up again. I had so much fun playing that game. Like, I don't think I'll ever be able to play it again and have as much fun as I did. But I never finished it, and I'm a bit sad about that. Oh. We still haven't finished DuckTales either. We've got to go back to DuckTales at some point. Nintendo Switch is the best console ever. Maybe I'll have to buy it. I'm not a big console player, but I have played a few games on the Switch that I have enjoyed. I feel like everyone's got one except for me. I actually have bought a Nintendo Switch before. I paid for it from my ex-wife. She had a Switch. I think I played once in it in the entire time that she had it. Anyway, Pummel Party. Is that something that we could do one night with everyone? I'm just going back to the store page. See, oops, that's not... store. Stop. Mute. How much is it? Yeah, it's not a cheap little game. Well, it is. It's cheap compared to big games. It's $22. Buy on Steam. Don't think the requirements are too hard, but we do need 4 to 8 players to play. And it wouldn't be fun with under 4 players anyway. Chili Dan owns it. Dozer owns it. I was pretty sure. I thought Archimus had it. Maybe he didn't. There you go. Maybe he doesn't. It looks like none of you probably own. I did hear you buying Switch. Randoms, yay, it's better than the Opera Show. Ah, not buying Switches for no one. Bought one for my ex. Saw Aki play Deep Rock Galactic. Have you played it? No, I haven't seen that one. It's another Steam game. Have a squizzy. Deep Rock. $15. Oh, there's a few different versions of it. There's a Rogue Core, a Survivor, Supporter 2 upgrade. It looks like one of those ones that you pay a basic price and then if you want extras, you got to pay for it all. And there'll be a bundle pack already. Yes, there's a bundle pack. It's $60 off at the moment, 60% off at the moment. And at 60% off, it's still $77. Let's have a look. Squiz at this.
Option. Hello, miners. It is time for another DRG update, and we are back with a new rundown. Welcome to Season 4, Critical Corruption. Though we have gained great ground against the rampaging lithophage in the past months, it remains a constant threat on Hoxie's, despite our best efforts. And to make matters worse, reports of alarming new mutations are starting to come in. It is clearly reacting to our presence, and our endeavors are getting even more hazardous moving forward. Let's get right into it. The bad news first. The plague carts you have encountered previously have evolved. They will now turn into lithophage corruptors. Ravenous, fully mobile abominations that spread rock pox wherever they go. They appear impervious to normal gunfire, so you will need to use the cleansing equipment to get through their exterior shells and expose their soft inner core. Be advised, the lithophage corruptor is no pushover and will fight back to defend itself. Walk with care, miners. Furthermore, several more strains of Hoxie's wildlife have succumbed to the rockpox and gotten infected. You can now expect to meet infected Mactera bombers, as well as infected Nadocyte breeders. Just lovely. Be on your guard as always, as these new variants will be even more hostile than usual, while also propagating the spread of rockpox. As if that wasn't enough, Hoxie's itself seems to fight back in its usual way, by spewing out yet more ghastly creatures from far below. Scanners report sightings of two new monsters. The Glyphid Stingtail is a powerful, heavily armored beast. It has a grabbing tail capable of incapacitating any enemy and goring them against its massive horns. Mind yourselves around this one. Meanwhile, the Glyphid Septic Spreader is a malicious cousin of our old friend, the Glyphid Spitter. This one fires heavy globules of rancid biomatter, which spread out in a wide area around impact. Just another day on Hoxie.
Ask Aki for an opinion.
But as always, our enemies are not the only ones to adapt. R&D has come up with a little something we expect you'll enjoy. Jet boots. You will now be able to recover crates of high-powered jet modules in the caves. Attach these to your boots and turn them into fully functional jet boots, giving you a much-needed leg up during any hardship.
Was that a little mini game like Flappy Bird that I just saw? Is that like how you hack boxes? You play Flappy Bird? Is that what I saw?
You may encounter. Just consider wearing a helmet, perhaps. Back home, a bit of redundant machinery has been cleared out, opening up the space rig a bit more, which handily allows plenty of space to install
Flappy
a
Bird
training terminal for the coded locks you will encounter on the jet boot crates. It would appear some smart aleck has seen fit to build an arcade cabinet to fit it into. At the Abyss Bar, enjoy a delicious new brew, the Randovisor. This potent ale reportedly instills a sense of adventure and lust for challenge in whoever drinks it, causing questionable decisions in regards to equipment loadout and uniform.
What
Apparently, finishing missions using these loadouts has become a bit of a fad. Well, I wish you luck. At the loadout terminal, a new option to randomize all your gear and upgrades has also become available, enabling you to quickly set up challenges for yourself.
Ah,
Why
I
would
like
anyone do this? Well, never let it be said we do not wish to enable our employees. Meanwhile, in your wardrobe, your armors now come with a new option. Toggle between sleeveless versions of all your own sets at will. Summer is almost upon us, after all. And capping all of this off is of course this season's new season pass. An all-new cosmetic tree and 100 new levels of gear, victory moves, weapon frameworks and crafting materials to unlock.
buy it with my eyes
all the
closed.
usual script challenges to go along with it. And as always,
I like the Flappy
anything
Bird.
you may have missed in previous seasons will simply go into the existing loot pools, so nothing is going away forever. To commemorate the release of the season is of course also a new cosmetic pack up for purchase. The Decontaminator pack features a brand new weapon framework to go with our previous DLC pack of armors. Combating a lethal
DLC.
pandemic has never looked sexier. That is it, miners. Season 4 is upon us. Suit up and get to work. We've got quotas to meet. Welcome to Critical Corruption. This is Mission Control signing off. Rock and Stone.
DRG is always finding ways to drain our wallets.
So, I just noticed that my OBS hasn't been playing all, so I don't know how much stuff had coming up on the screen that you haven't been able to see. That's been a bit annoying. I've been changing scenes all over the place, showing screenshots and all things through the whole conversations we've been having, and my OBS was in studio mode and I didn't even notice. So that's embarrassing. Anyway. That is embarrassing. I think it's been like that right since the beginning because I was playing with my audio. Yeah, I don't know. I've had the wrong scene up. You know what, I'm gonna have to look back at this playback. Maybe I won't save this VOD because it's too embarrassing. If you guys ever notice something weird, like, you know, I'm trying to play something full screen and you guys aren't seeing it, let me know, hey. If I don't know, I can't. I do have a preview up there, but I don't always notice it. Ah, frustrating. Frustrating. Look, I might wind down, I think. I was going to play a game, but I'm not sure if I feel like it. I might get an earlier night. I'll be back online tomorrow night. Yeah, look, very interested to know how bad it was. How can I tell? Can I look at my VOD while I'm live? Is that a thing? I'm gonna actually have a screen set up, I think, that has have a screen set up that has my like watching myself on a screen so I can see what's going on. We play a game. Do I get an early night? Question. For the game previews, they came up fine. Did they come up full screen? Did they come up full screen, or was it just like so when we were watching before? Sleep is great. I don't know. There we go. I'll be on tomorrow night anyway. It's gonna bring up. Let me pause this. That's gonna be annoying. God, all over the place. Go store again. Pick a game. That's how it should have been coming up. It came up on the small screen. Ah, so like this. Then it would have just had my head behind it like this. I didn't know what was going on. Yeah, right. Oh, that worked out alright then. At least you guys could see it. That's the main thing. So that's how it came up, was it? So was that the same for when I was just chatting before? Like all the screenshots that I was showing? I would have complained if it was that bad. It was great. Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, that makes me happy. A little bit happier that at least you could see the screens. If it came up in a small window, that's fine. I'm happy with that. Podcast style. Speaking of podcast style, we've got some things coming up. Hopefully sometime soon, we've got podcasts for my uni alumni. So we'll have Millie and a couple of the people from through the controller at my face. A couple of people from my uni group, because we have monthly catch-ups, and sometimes when we've been having the catch-ups, it's so funny, the conversations that we have, and I just go, this would be great content. I wish I was streaming it. So we've had a chat, and yeah, I think we're gonna stream the next catch-up, do it podcast style, and Millie is part of that. That's how I met Millie. Was through uni, and yeah, potentially getting a few other people. Getting a few other people interested as well on the stream. I get maybe Nick, Millie, Z, maybe Archie. He wants Arky, and get all the streamers to do a podcast, just talk the shit. Got podcast vibes. Yeah, cool. All right, I'm happy that worked out. Maybe it worked better like that. Serendipitous effect. Serendipitous outcome. How do you guys feel when you go to dinner with someone, or you go to catch up with someone, and they spend a lot of time checking on their mobile phones and replying to messages on their mobile phones? Does that annoy anyone else? Or is it just me? I got nothing to say. I would love to listen and learn. I will not. I will not and sip on my water. Z, I enjoy your opinions, especially on some of the conversations like what we had tonight. Enjoy your input. I think it just shows their social anxiety. Yeah, okay. So don't go too hard on it, is what 100% annoys you, Kerry. They're doing it the whole time. Yeah. Look, I get it. Sometimes there might be something going on that you need to check a message. But when it's ongoing the whole time, yeah, it's annoying, hey. It's like, sometimes you're talking, I'll be having a conversation with someone, and every 5 seconds they're checking their message to reply to a conversation they're clearly having. And I just feel like stopping, not saying anything at all. Like, when you're ready. Stops me being as engaging as I'd want to be. I just start being engaged obligatory rather than the depth and the meaningfulness of the conversation lost. Social anxiety, is that a thing in that circumstance? Right. Being there in the moment is rare. Is this like a common thing now that I've just somehow missed? Time to time is fine, the whole time is totally not. all time. Yeah, yeah. I know that sometimes I've been in situations where I had to keep my phone on, or I've been messaging for something that's going on, but I've felt really bad about it. I'm usually verbally apologetic. Here's the way the world is. It is not 10 seconds long. Short. Boring. Yeah. Interesting. So at the moment, Midley's done a little informatic for our live stream, which is this Monday, by the way. At this stage, validation overload. Even if it's just for a moment. I kind of get the feeling of like, is my conversation too boring? Like, engaged enough? A game that I used to play a long time ago called No Man's Sky. I just looked at it and I've got 52 hours on record. It's not a lot of hours, but more than a lot of games. I wonder what's different with No Man's Sky these days. Must be a good game. Oh, it was alright. I just got a bit bored of it after a while. I think it might be a good game if you have more players, more mates playing it. Me, it was my ex that was playing it, and Arky jumped in every now and again, but Arky mostly did his own thing. I think we all ended up at the end doing our own thing. I think I just got a bit bored. Fuck my ears. Nick's here! How's your stream going, Nick? Your youngest brother has No Man's Sky on PlayStation. Yeah, right. Where are these ghosts coming from? Never seen that one before. Right. You know what? I'm going to add that to the command. Let's make it more interesting. Oh, so spooky skeleton at the moment. I think I'm going to have to sample it. I think it's a... Okay, so it must be a platform command. The owner? No. Okay, so I've got to find a clip skeleton, or I've got to resample it. Me with ghost emojis, I can. Yeah, nothing wrong with it. I've just never seen it before until like just recently, a couple of streams ago. I was actually going to automate it so that when Spooky Skeleton plays, I wonder if I can action and trigger it based on Spooky Skeleton. Currently skips the queue too. Gotta be careful of that. Actions. Can I do a new action? Call it. Phone's gone nuts. I haven't put it on silent like I normally do. Someone trolling me, isn't it? That Spooky Skeleton. Okay, so I've got a new action. Trigger. Trigger, Twitch. Reward redemption. Spooky Skeleton, excellent, here we go. So, trigger is when that's done, the sub action, Twitch, chat, send message to channel, bot, put a shitload of them in. Alright, save. Let's see if this works. I've been using ghost emojis on my keyboard. Ghosties. But they got a cute ghosties. None of this onic crap. No, if you need... no, don't waste. Channel. There we go. What does it? How does that?
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You'll shake and shudder in surprise when you hear these zombies shriek. We're so sorry, skeletons, you're so misunderstood. You only want to socialize, but I don't think we should. A spooky, scary skeleton shouts startling, shrilly screams. They'll sneak under sarcophagus and just won't leave you be.
Toasty! Can I do this? Cowboy. Oh, yes, I can use standard mobile. Oh, I'm so happy I can do that. Toasted perfection. We've had a good just chatting stream. And I've only just learnt now. I was today's years old when I knew that when I'm on my mobile, I can put the emojis in. But I didn't know that on a computer, I could just type in the emoji shortcut. Didn't know that was a thing. So I'm pretty stoked. Pretty stoked that I can do that thing. Very spooky. Now what we need is the little skeletons. I've got them. Someone... them saved somewhere. So we could also do something like this. Open this up, get my spooky skeleton. Hopefully I saved a place where I can find them. They'd be sitting in. No. So where did I save the spooky skeletons? That's how I've been getting the ghosties on your screen. Just been typing them in. Yeah, right. So if you're using a mobile, you can just hit the emoji button. Your phone should have an emoji thing and just have the little pictures, and you can click on the picture of the ghost. Save you having to type in colon ghost colon. On a computer, you don't have that option, right? You only get the standard emojis that the channel has. Spooky, spooky skeleton. Okay, so what doing? I was looking for the spooky skeleton. Oh my god, again? Nick. How's your stream going, Nick?
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You'll shake and shudder in surprise when you hear these zombies shriek. We're so sorry, skeletons, you're so misunderstood. You only want to
Yep, just been using my emoji keyboard, yeah.
A spooky, scary skeleton shouts startling, shrilly screams. They'll sneak under sarcophagus and just won't leave you be.
Posted's found the ghosties. We need the ghost to be animated. I could totally animate that. I could animate that icon and just make it a channel alert. Do I do it? Do you need me to send the skellies again? Did you send it to me originally? Was it you? Did find them? No, yeah, I used to. Got them here. I couldn't remember who it was that sent them to me. Save them from. Fuck. First. Save him. Probably never saved them. Probably why I don't have them. Okay, now go to images. Images. I'll remove the backgrounds out of them. They're black and white. Let's see how we go. Folder. Oh, that's there. So there is. Oh, I've got a skeleton already there. Right. It needs the background removed though. Oh, I know what I was trying to do now. Oh, yeah, I got to finish that. All right, well, this will do for now. Barry just sent me. Get this. I had something up for this. The other one requires a bit more work. Alright, now I should be able to do a... I'll have to do a scene in studio mode. Here's where I'm going to fuck up again. Studio mode, alerts, box. I want the full screen alert. Little alert. Plus an image. Create a new one. Call it spooky don't know if this is going to work. I might have to load it as a web page. Oh fuck, why is it never quite as easy as I expect? Process. We got to decide which one I want. That one is. It's only gonna be small for now. I'm in my alert space. What do we think? Is that alright? Now we can go. For. Oh, it's OBS. Sources. Set source visibility state for the scene. Alerts, spooky one, visible. Then we need to make it wait. How do we add a wait in? How long does the spooky skeleton go for? I need try to look for a transparent one. I've got one that's transparent. That's going to do something different, but it's going to take me some time because it's not transparent yet, but it's got a background I can remove a lot easier. But I also need to make some scripting in to make him move around a bit. So here's another day project. It's not going to happen today. But this one I need to put rest. Make it wait. Timers. Delay. About 30 seconds. And then set the source. Set the Twitch. No, set the OBS. Sources. Set visibility state of alert, spooky one, hidden. Now I just need to time how long it actually goes for. Yeah, I've got a plan. Right. Maybe I can test this by actually running it again. Bear with me. It didn't work.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You'll shake and shudder in surprise when you hear these zombies shriek.
We're so sorry, skeletons, you're so misunderstood. You only want to socialize, but I don't think we should.
A spooky, scary skeleton shouts startling shrilly screams. They'll sneak under sarcophagus and just won't leave you be.
OBS source was I might not be using the right connector. Hang on. Save. Also, let me restart this. Sometimes this is a thing. Sometimes you have to restart it. Okay, we're going to hear a lot of spooky skeletons while we're testing. Cool down. Maybe it's because of that other image.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a
I don't know why it's not working. Should be working. Play the ghosties.
We're so sorry, skeletons, you're so misunderstood. You only want to socialize, but I don't think we should.
A spooky, scary skeleton shouts startling, shrilly screams. They'll sneak under sarcophagus and just won't leave you be.
That what's going. Sitting in the mod queue waiting to happen. Stand. How do I test that command? Okay, that command works. Delay for 30 milliseconds. Too long. That might be the problem. I think it turns on and turns off straight away. I think that's the problem. Try now. Here we go. Save. More skeletons. Down again. I should just turn the cooldown off. No, it's just not working. Unless it's now because I need to restart.
Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You'll shake and shudder in surprise when you hear these zombies shriek.
We're so sorry, skeletons, you're so misunderstood. You only want to socialize, but I don't think we should.
Coming out the wrong sound channel. Can't turn it down. Because I can, I can do this. I'll turn it down. Right, so I've restarted that. I'm gonna try one more time. If this doesn't work, I've got another wait another minute for the cooldown. So many skeleton dances.
I'm going to find the promised land.
Oh, I've turned it down here. That's cool. Can I hug everyone? Nightbot hugged everyone. Alrighty, the cooldown's done. Last. There we go. Oh, it's the other one's shutting it up. I see what's going on. It is turning up.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You'll shake.
Shut it up for a minute. I can fix this. I can fix it. I know what I've done. I know what's going on. The damn command. Oh, it's not a command, it's an action. The action is Spooky Skeleton. Alright, that should now work. Save it. Restart StreamerBot. Like that, Kerry. Everyone can use that command, by the way. You can tug anyone. You can make Nightbot. I don't know everyone with one more skill. All right. Oh yeah, except now turn the volume off. Why that's so small? Should be bigger. You're taking up the full size of the thing. Anyway, I'm not going to play with it anymore. There we go. We're done. It'll be a bit bigger next time it plays, but I'm not going to play it again myself. We've had enough spooky skeletons for the night. I'm going to wind up. Might just... might just find a friend or raid. Someone we haven't for a while might be online. Nah. Not vibing. Not vibing. I'll catch you guys tomorrow night. I'll be back online tomorrow night. I might do another just chatting stream. Might play some Ark. Not sure yet. We shall wing it. I think most of you are probably all over in Nick's channel already, but if you're not, don't know who Nick is, share some love, or something in the chat, let her know we sent you over, and fuck her a follow. I will see you guys over in Nick's channel. Bye for now, and thanks for contributing to the chat. Really good chat. Bye!
Now I see you 2 Thursdays ago. I see Dan! Thank you so much!